time to get this show started. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
What up, good sir?
What up, Rafael? How you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling.
What you want to talk about today?
I don't know. I know we was talking about like culture. How it then shifted a little bit over the years.
Especially with hip hop and the fashion.
Especially with hip hop and fashion.
You know, kind of throwing back, you know, growing up, being a 80s born baby and growing up through the 90s and 2000s, I think that we experienced a special time in culture and the shift in culture and fashion, really.
Oh yeah.
You know, seeing what was happening in the 90s, experiencing it in the 2000s, and then beyond. But kind of kicking back to like the 80s, even before, you know, I was fashionable, you know, some of the stuff going on. What are some of the biggest things that you remember about the hip hop culture and fashion from the 80s?
Boy, just the inevitable crash collision course they was going to be on. Not like in the manner of like a bad manner, but like, man, like how one affected the other for the greater. You know what I mean? Like, looks like we was talking about LL Cool J with the Kangalls. Hell, Run DMC with Adidas. Like,
Yes.
that was all based off of, some sort of idea because Jordan went in and played no professional basketball whatsoever and got one of the most iconic deals from, somebody that wasn't part of the business. Like most people that got Jordan's deal was working,
Yes.
at Nike.
Yes.
Like, and he got it as a player that, they put all their eggs in and he ain't played no basketball whatsoever. So
They saw the potential.
they saw the potential in that. So they was like, well, shit, if he can monetize it, why can I?
Exactly.
So.
And I think that's where the manufacturers really help support the culture.
Yes.
Where you have like Run DMC back in like 86.
Yes.
They were
yes,
just an enthusiast of the brand. They loved them some Adidas.
Yes.
And they incorporated that in their song, My Adidas.
Oh, yeah.
And then after seeing what Jordan was able to do in 94, Adidas was paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
They said, hey, you know what?
They was definitely paying attention.
We can definitely capitalize on this and do a collaboration. And that's where you see the culture hip hop in the 80s getting their first major endorsement deal with Adidas through Run DMC.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, like, R.I.P. Jam Master Jay. I remember when all that happened when he got killed. Adidas partnered, well, I'm pretty sure it was some sort of, shared partnership with, him, with them and Adidas, where they came out with that specialty shoe that had Jam Master Jay face on the tongue on it. It was like a celebration one. Like, just to honor. And I thought that was, was pretty cool. And I don't know why I remember this, but I remember when I first saw him, they was in the Killer Mike video, All Day, the Adidas song, All Day I Dream About Sex.
Oh, yeah.
And he had him on in his video. And I was like, damn, them shit's fire. And they came in like 3 different waves. They came in like the all white with the black stripes. Then they came in reverse, and they came when the ones with the bottom, the gum bottom on it. I was like, man, I got to get me a pair of those. But them shits are rather expensive still, so, But it's just one of the ways, like, man, like, who would have thought that we would be paying like $200-$300 plus for shoes?
Right?
It's
crazy.
That's crazy.
I mean, Jordan might have set the staple for that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But thinking about the shoe topic, right? So you got big company Clark's out there, around for a while, and then in the early '90s, they're running into financial trouble.
Yeah.
And at the point that they were really considering filing for bankruptcy, and then all of a sudden you have Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, I remember when he was
their
telling me
album.
about this, y'all. It blew my mind.
Yeah, 36 Chambers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they're wearing those wallabies on the cover and essentially saved the business.
Yes.
Because once they did that, everybody wanted wallabies.
And that was the crazy thing. When he said wallabies, I did not put 2 and 2 together that Clark's did wallabies. But I've been hearing about wallabies for the longest.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just a New York thing because Wu-Tang them, that's what they wore. But That's crazy. That's man crazy.
And it's crazy where you've seen that shift where it's like, okay, Adidas jumped on Run DMC,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you see, okay, Clark's, they jumped on Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes.
Which Wu-Tang really did save them. And then they ended up doing a tribute shoe for them, I think, a decade or two later as well.
Shit, Jordan. Well, I don't think it's a Jordan. I think it's just a dunk. Nike made a Wu-Tang dunk. That's got their logo on the back and it's black, red, and white. Black, yellow, and white.
Mm.
Them shit's fire. They're a little expensive too. But them shit's real fire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see how like the culture and fashion has changed over the years too. Like you got like West Coast look.
I think a lot of the other thing too, you was talking about just, locations. And I think a lot of people also forget Dapper Dan in New York. Like,
Yeah, so Dapper Dan, what he did, that cat was smart.
they super smart.
So at the time, like if you were like a rapper and a hustler and you were getting money, what
Mhm.
you were doing is your lady was wrapped in Louis Vuitton and the latest fashion. And he had the idea that, okay, well, if my girl's wearing this, why can't I?
Why
And he
can't
came out
I?
with the first jackets, designer brand jackets.
Boy, he was very forward thinking.
Mhm.
Like a lot of like even now so the Supreme that we was talking about.
Yes.
A lot of the Supreme reason we have those collaborations is because of Virgil that that passed away. Another creator that did a lot of stuff for Gucci and Louis.
Mhm.
Him. They really like pioneered like, okay, we're gonna take this print and we're gonna put it on something that's us.
Yeah.
And like when we start seeing like Gucci Forces and Gucci Jordans and Louis Vuitton, man, that had us in a chokehold in like what, them 2000s.
Mm-hmm. And that's another example of how like hip hop, really pushed the fashion industry
Oh yeah,
to follow suit. They came out with these concepts, and then high end designer brands are like, hey, hold on a second, we can market this.
we can market the fuck
Yeah.
out of this.
So whatever the culture is demanding, we need to be the supplier.
Yes, most definitely. And then I just think just like this culture reference is boy, Virgil and Dapper Dan, boy. That's one thing I do. I want something from Dapper Dan, like one of his shots, something custom.
Mhm.
that would. I don't even want nothing out the way.
Yeah.
I just want something subtle. That's something that I know I could wear like on multiple occasions. I don't want to wear just like, oh, I can only wear like this one or two outfits and I never put them on again. Nah, I'm trying to. It's like, man, these Dapper Dans right here, boy.
That's right. That's right.
I'm trying to really show them off. So yeah, I definitely want a little piece of something from there.
And that's really where the hip hop fashion culture started. You were an established rapper at this point, and you wanted to show that you're successful.
Mm-hmm.
So you bought designer products, designer brands. You
Yes.
wrapped yourself up in it to show, hey, we're established, we're here, we're making
Yes.
things happen.
Same thing with the Rolex.
Yeah.
Everybody, when they make it big, oh, I got to get a Rolex. It's just the status of like, hey, I made it.
Yep.
And, so I feel you on
I
that.
definitely agree. Working in retail, in the high end market, everybody was wearing Rolexes.
Mhm.
And man, I jumped on a Frolex, a $50 knockoff, and I was wearing it like everybody else.
Not the Frolex.
Yeah. It was funny, the wealthy people that came in wearing the real ones, they're
Uh-huh.
looking at me like, man, this guy works at a place I shop and he's got a Rolex. Like they're looking like trying to do the mental math. It doesn't equate.
Nah, it
Like,
doesn't.
how can he afford that working here?
What is he doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do
That's-
you want to know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what would be my next question. Why you want to know? I see you wearing the same thing. I ain't questioning what you doing.
Mhm.
Just stay the fuck out of my business.
I want to go back to that West Coast look again.
Mhm.
So NWA,
Yeah.
rocking the snapback hats, the Raider
Mhm.
gear. Man, that was such a hard look. And
Oh,
even to
man.
this day, it is.
Like I don't think those particular trends never stop. Like, I mean, you can go into. I mean, you still got fitted hats, but
Hmm.
it's a whole like two walls dedicated to just nothing but snapbacks.
Yeah.
So that's something that the culture just never let go of as far as like like oh like that was just a fad. It ran its course. Nah, like. You like now, like if a hat is dropped, it doesn't matter what's on it. It's got a snapback version.
That's right, that's
It's
right.
got a snapback version.
The funny thing too about that is the evolution of the snapback over the years. When I was a kid in the 90s, you
Mhm.
had like that team, you had the team colors, And what's changed now is people become more fashionable with their
Mhm.
colors, matching their shoes,
Oh,
to shirt, the hat, and everything.
sure.
That it's not just team colors anymore. You can
Mm-mm.
have a logo for a team, and it's any color you want.
Any color you want. Like, so for instance, Chicago. So the Chicago Bulls, we've seen many versions of their jersey. You know, like they got the gold and red championship one that they wore. They got the white, all white with the red. Then they got the reverse, the all black with the red. And then they got the pinstripe.
Mm-hmm.
But if you remember, they came out with they called it the St. Patrick's Day one, and I'm pretty sure that most NBA teams got a version of this. I'm assuming outside of Boston Celtics because they're always green. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure they got. I'm pretty sure Celtics got like a specialty version of that. But as far as like the Bulls jersey, it's a green and red one, and it was just one of those things. It's like, okay, what else can we do? Like
Mhm.
Jordan's coming out with all these different type of shoes. Why can't the jersey match?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Why do you have to be tied to a certain
Why
color?
you got to?
If that's your primary color and you wear it most of the time, you can do like a specialty color every once in a while.
Oh yeah. And that was, I think, the biggest thing about, with when the Jordans first came out, because like he pushed it to where it's like, I don't want to wear no Converses. I want to wear Nikes. And I want them to be this color. And then the NBA was like, wait a minute now, like we got specifications to, what the shoe looks like. It has to have this color and it all can be your team colors. Like, nah, I don't want to do all that, But that was another envelope.
Well, you know what? You don't move mountains by playing by the rules.
Hell no.
Sometimes you have to break the rules a little bit.
Hell no. And look at the feet on NBA players now.
Mm-hmm.
They be having some wild colored shoes on now. They ain't got shit to do with their team. But at the end of the day, it was all a market.
Yep.
The culture changed. It was like, and that was a crazy thing. I really never thought that the NBA would necessarily go back to where they was like, oh, we can't have all of this. Like back in the day when we used to have like true legit dunk contests.
Mm-hmm.
Like the players never came in suits. They was on the sidelines in gold chains with a video recorder. Like,
yeah.
But that was the culture. And like they said, and then when all that shit happened, Ron Artest and all of that shit, like they tried to like buckle down, like, oh, you have to come representable and you got to wear a suit and all of this, or you're gonna get fined.
Mm-mm.
And it's like all because like
you put too many standards in place.
Too many standards in place. And then like now it's gotten to the point now where the player has gotten smart and said like, hey, either you let me do what I want to do or it's gonna cost you money.
Yeah.
They got them by the balls now, so it's like now it's slowly getting back to that representation of oneself. Like you can come out here as you are and you're still going to be accepted. It's like we should have never gotten away from that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like of course we want to be safe. I'm not condoning any of the things that that led up to those decisions that the NBA did, but shit, man, you about killed the culture. Like,
at the end of the day, when you're ready for the game, you need to be in your uniform.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. But they was out there. It was an all-star game. Like at that point, like that's to me like the all-star game is like the time where all the players for one game out of the year can relax, be themselves. Ain't no pressure. They can come out there and chill with their buddies and just have a nice televised pickup game. That's what I feel like the all-star game and the all-star weekend is. It's just a showcase of the talent in the NBA and people just having a good time.
Yeah, it's like you're at the court playing with your friends.
Exactly. And I think, we got away from that because, we don't want to scare off the money, but shit, you got to take them chances to make it,
That's right.
And if that's costing the motherfuckers got to be individual out here. We ain't breaking no rules. We making some money. I don't give a fuck.
And the thing about fashion is it changes by the decade or within a decade. It can change multiple times. Like you got, the 90s. You had people like Snoop Dogg that were wearing Tommy Hilfiger. And then before too long, you see Aaliyah, you see Usher all having endorsements, right?
I think Aaliyah was the biggest one.
Boy,
They was getting her paid. They had to. Like she was in Tommy all the damn time. That shit was fly. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit was fly. She had every girl back in the 90s wanting to wear
Yeah,
Tommy
and that's the
Hilfiger.
thing too. Like you have like the hip hop fashion, really arguably starting back in the 80s. But what did you have for the females at the time? You didn't have a whole lot going on.
You had Baby Fat. You had Baby Fat. You had
Around at the same
Tommy
time, you had
Girl.
Fat Farm. But not a whole lot going
you
on.
really didn't.
So I mean, it made sense to really blow her up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that didn't last too long though.
Nah.
Those vicious rumors got out that Tommy Hilfiger had allegedly got on the Oprah show saying that he didn't want African Americans, Asians, or Hispanics wearing his gear. And by the time he was vindicated, he actually did go on the Oprah show.
Yeah.
And Oprah backed him up on it. But by then, hip hop had already moved on. We're in the early 2000s now, and they switched up the game. Now everybody's looking at throwbacks.
Yes. Boy, Fabulous came out with a whole song about that. Throwback this, throwback that. I even bought the colors with the captain match. That shit.
Dude, that's what everybody's wearing. If you had money, you're investing in throwbacks. Some of those throwbacks are like $600.
Still are now.
Yeah.
Shit still are now. I got a couple of them. I just couldn't walk away from it. I was like, ugh, I ain't gonna never see that shit again.
Yeah. And that's the thing, not to jump too far ahead, but like in the 2010s, throwbacks came back.
Yeah.
And the older they were, the more expensive. If you can find original throwbacks, not reproductions or just modern stuff, those old hats, man, they were expensive.
Oh yeah.
And really the other thing that came out in the 2000s, you had the throwbacks, you had the bucket hats and all that stuff going on. The oversized apparel was a big deal. Big jeans. You had, people wearing 5X shirts that went down to the knees.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I look at some past pictures. Boy, that was not the best decision.
No.
But we loved it, though.
That was the thing. Like, you go to the gas station. Gas stations had these white tees.
Yeah, they
that
do.
That looked like, a freaking, like, nightgown. And honestly, that became a big thing, at least in Florida. That was all over the place.
Oh,
that
it's
was
still here now.
So, like, in the South, that's one of the big contributions to, like, hip-hop fashion in the South was the oversized tees. And why that was appealing was they were cheap.
They were cheap. And
everybody could jump on the fashion.
And it went with everything.
Yep. And it started out with, the white tees. You had that song come out in my white tee.
Franchise Boys.
That's right.
God,
and then they had the black tee that came out eventually, too. But that's one of the crazes that I jumped on because I could, afford it. And then from that point on, from like the early 2000s to like almost the late 2000s, anytime I bought a T-shirt, a jacket, or anything like that, it was a 2X.
Oh yeah.
And, the crazy part about it, like I'm a pretty skinny guy now, but I was much skinnier in the 2000s when I was in high school. Even post high school, the only thing that I still have left in my collection that's a 2X is actually this throwback jersey from the Drama Club, and this is a 2X. I wear a medium, I wear a large, and this thing comes down to my knees. I have a little bit of sentimental value on this, so I can't exactly throw this one away.
Oh nah.
But all of my T-shirts I was wearing Nike. It was just the plain color tee, whether it's black. It was gray. It was white.
Yeah.
It had that little check. That's all that mattered.
That's all that mattered. That's all you really wanted. It was simple back then. Of course, like we wanted the extravagant shit, but white tees and black tees, boy, that would be the outfit, and there'd be a million of us out there.
Yeah, you're wearing that. You're wearing some Air Forces.
Shit, yeah,
that's it. That's all you needed. A quick side story. My friend George. For like a little while, you were doing different colors. There's like red and yellow. My friend George had one of those like 5X yellow tees that went down to his knees. And the little side story, we went to an abandoned insane asylum, which we'll talk about on another day. And we heard gunshots, and we started running. And all I see is this like tall ass dude wearing this yellow tee, looking like a banana running across the field. We'll get into that another day.
Yeah, I want to hear this. I want to hear that.
But I think the 2000s, I mean, I experienced that, from my own perspective. And I think that was some of the most enjoyable for me was participating in, like, the oversized stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it looked so ridiculous. Thinking back, it's like, man, like, I was taking automotive technology in high school, and I had, like, the Dickie jumpsuit. the pants, the button down,
Mm-hmm.
2X. And
Well, you was committed,
dude, like, you know, when I was wearing this 2X gear, like I thought to myself, I'm like, man, like I can like grab this shit, stretch it out, jump off a roof, and be like a fucking flying squirrel, and just get from point A to point B. But I was in this this test. I did a certification test in high school, and we went to, I think it was Miami High or something like that. And one of the instructors walked up to me and was like, "Hey, so like, why are you wearing all this loose clothing?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" It was the fashion. It was the standard at the time.
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Working on a car, that's gonna get like caught on something, and you're gonna get hurt." I was like, you know, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, they looking at the efficiency side of it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, culture, you know, as far as fashion, it don't always adhere to safety.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't. Like me working on cars now, like I can't have anything. It's just me anyway. Just the comfortability. You know, I can't wear anything loose.
Yeah.
It just makes me uncomfortable. Then I get aggravated and I don't even do it. So I can only imagine trying to do that in a 4X.
No,
in a 4XT
definitely not.
trying to do some shit in the car, man.
Dude, you can't do a whole lot, man. Like when you're running, I think it slows you down too.
It does.
Like I
Pants and
said.
all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, if you're wearing the oversized pants and they're falling down, I remember running and like holding my shit up.
Yeah, with some shit, Jinkos and Jabot jeans.
Man, I'm gonna throw it back like really old. This wasn't hip hop fashion, but it was in my family's budget fashion. You remember Kmart? They had Bugle Boy jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was the shit back in the day.
Hell yeah. I done had some Bugle Boy jeans.
All these young people have no idea what that is.
Fuck no.
They don't even know what Kmart was.
What Kmart? What was that? When did they go out of business? They've been out of business for a while now.
A while. They had a few stores left, and then they finally got rid of the rest of the stores not too long ago. But Kmart was the shit back in the day.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. How did they ever go out of business? I guess Walmart probably.
Probably, yeah.
I thought they had decent stuff though.
They did, man. Like you go in there, I'd go in there looking at like the little toy cars and shit, electronics.
That's what I went in there for. Because usually, if Walmart was out of it or didn't have it, Kmart always had it.
Yes.
So it was like, how did y'all go out of business, or how did all that happen?
Bad management, I guess.
Had to be. That's how most stores do that. Bad management. It ain't because you know the store can't make money or won't make money. It's because they put motherfuckers.
The people you put in place don't know how to run a business.
Don't know
right.
how to run shit. You know,
It's relatable.
Very relatable. But hey, I fall sometimes.
That's right. You know, another thing that was fashionable for a while was wearing all black. And you have people like A$AP Rocky. That's one thing that he did.
Yeah.
He wore all black. When I was a kid, I went through that phase where I wore black jeans, my Air Forces, the black Nike shirt with the white check, and then a black hat. I had my little gold chain. If I can find the picture, I might throw it up here.
I need to find some old pictures like that. And that was the thing. I didn't take a lot of pictures back in the day.
Man, we grew up poor.
Yeah. I ain't taking
My family never took us to one of those places to do like family portraits and stuff like that. You know how like you watch The Simpsons and shit, you see like there's like pictures of the kids on the wall? Not in my house.
Nah. I think the only time we really like took pictures like that was school pictures, and we just got them ordered through the school. What was that company, O-Line Mills? That was the only time we took pictures like that. And even then, like I didn't want to take them pictures.
No.
I didn't want to take them shits at all.
Shit, I don't want to take my picture for my school ID. Like y'all trying to take my picture?
Yeah, for what? What you need my picture for?
For real. One of the later trends that came around in like the late 2000s, early 2010s was that fitted look. And honestly,
yes.
that's probably been, in my opinion, the best trend, honestly.
Yeah.
As an adult, like I wear fitted jeans. I wear a true medium because I am a medium. You know? The idea that I used to walk around in 2XL, I'm sure like when I'm in Kmart back in the day, or Target or whatever, people looking at me like, damn, this kid's an asshole. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Why do you have this big ass shirt on?
And you know, preppy people, they always wore fitted stuff. You know, they didn't pay attention to the hip hop fashion.
The whole thing about the whole fitted look what bothered me is that like I never understood why it had to be fitted and short.
Like not going down to your ankles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like why does it have to be tight, short, extra tight, and short? Like why can't it just be fitted but normal length? Like
yeah.
like,
I'm with you on that. If it don't
I
go
never
down to
understood
like
that.
at least my shoe line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear it.
But we can thank rappers like Lil Wayne, Pharrell, for that shift in culture. Lil Wayne, he's always been like very forward thinking, and he was one of the first to jump on that fitted look,
Yeah.
and also that skater look too, which was pretty cool. So you see, like in the 2010s, you see a lot of blending between like different cultures. It used to be like, okay, you dress this way, you could tell what kind of music somebody listens to. Now you can't tell what people
Can't
listen
tell.
to. And honestly, the shift in culture is most people listen to a little bit of everything.
Yes. And honestly, I would kind of should be.
Yeah.
Like if it shouldn't matter what genre of music it is. If you can listen to a song like, man, I rock with that, you can repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares who cares where what genre of music is from? Because I know it's a couple. Like I be telling a lot of people about Elton John. That motherfucker can make some music. That motherfucker can make some music, and I it's a few songs that he made that I have on repeat. Them shits fire.
Mm-hmm. If you look at my playlist, it's pretty diverse. There's a little bit of everything.
Everything.
Not a whole lot of country. I'll be honest with you, old country I'm not a fan of.
Nah.
The new stuff, I like a lot of new stuff.
Yeah. But the old country, some of it brings back memory. Like, man, I remember when I heard that
Just
song
hearing it,
first.
yeah.
Just hearing it. But
Takes you back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, if I would actually sit and listen to like the old school content of country music, man, I'd be depressed 24/7.
Yeah, for real.
That shit depressing.
All them dudes getting broken up by the girlfriend or wife.
Yeah. Like that is the basis of it's about like rap music. You talk about some gold chains, some bitches, and you got a rap song.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about somebody they getting broke up and they hate their truck and they piss and like they depressed. It's like, god damn, these are like the like the strong components of making these songs.
That's probably why I didn't listen to country music. That shit was too depressing back in the day.
Way too depressing.
Shit nowadays is very like uplifting, like and fast paced.
Yes.
Like I listen to country music now and I'm jamming out. I'm like, I'm putting my volume up, I'm rolling the windows down, hitting the button. But
I got a nice little mood and vibe about myself. Like,
that's right.
I like this shit.
When I'm actually driving through the country, it makes the most sense to listen to country music. I'm not gonna lie.
I can see why. I can see why.
Like when I was a kid in the 90s, like my parents didn't listen to rap. They mainly listened to like classic rock. My dad listened to a lot of the alternative stuff, especially in the 90s. Like the 90s alternative rock, that's some good shit.
Yeah. It's not bad at all.
But they didn't really listen to like rap, and just kind of growing up when I was a kid, rap music was kind of taboo because there's a lot of like cussing, a lot of derogatory things being said towards women and whatever. And, for a while when I was a kid, it was like, oh, don't listen to rap music.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it anyway. Man, like 3 6 Mafia, stuff like that. Stuff that if my parents heard me listening to it, my thought was, okay, they're going to judge me. So when I got my first little stereo, radio really.
Yeah.
I'd just be outside listening to the music. And then like when I'd hear them coming to the door, I'd turn down the volume.
I ain't gonna lie. After a while, like I think like of course, every parent is just worrying about like how you gonna grow up being exposed to this. I think after like my mom, start hearing what I be listening to, and she was like, "Well, you've been listening to this long. You're not weird, so I guess you're all right."
Exactly.
But it's like and like everything got kind of super lax. But I was like, I wanted to tell, like, man, all the movies y'all had me watching back in the day, Scarface. Like, I was watching Scarface at a very young age. Like, and you worried about the music now?
For real, like, parents in the 90s were different. You could watch whatever, like Alien, Terminator. Like, look, when I saw the first Terminator movie, that scared the shit out of me.
What?
The first one, yeah. Like, when that dude's, like, walking you know, with the broken foot or whatever, and chasing down Sarah Connor. I thought that motherfucker was coming for me. Like, I'd go to sleep, and the last thing on my mind would be the Terminator coming to get me. But they were worried about rap music.
Yeah, we're about rap music. That's crazy.
And look, so we got rap music, and then you had like MTV, you had BET, and you had, there was 3. I forget what the third platform was, but you watch music videos. That was awesome when you can actually see the rap instead of just listening to it.
It was BT, MTV.
There was a third one.
I was about to say TRL, but that was MTV.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
I can't remember, dude. It's been so long.
That's gonna bother me.
But you know, one of the first female rappers I took notice of was Foxy Brown. Dude, she had that video Hotspot.
You saying a lot. You saying a lot right now. Oh yeah.
Like, damn. Me as a kid, I'm like, she is Foxy.
Boy, like she was one of the first like female rappers that could rap.
Yes. She's, I think, as far as like female rappers, she doesn't get enough credit.
Nah.
You get a lot of newer female rappers that are blown up, but you know, she was really pioneering for her time.
Yeah. Her and Lil Kim, they could rap. Like like even Rod Digger to a certain extent. Like she wasn't trash. She was a lot better than some of these motherfuckers that was coming out around that time. I give you that, but like she wasn't trash. The only ones that I remember being trash back in the day, as far as like female rappers, is Charlie Baltimore. Like I really never understood her.
I don't even remember her, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, she was trash. To me, you know, she might got a whole fan base, but I don't know. Yeah. But I just didn't understand her. And then even to this day, like you really don't have a lot of solid female rappers that are legit. I mean, you got like 1 or 2, like, but you don't have a lot. Not any that I could sit and listen to, like how I would listen to any other song. Yeah. Because half of them ain't talking about shit.
A lot of the newer stuff is hard to get into.
Yeah, very much so. It's like the men were chastised for, you know, being derogatory towards women. Not saying that it has completely changed, but we have toned down a lot. Yeah. You know, as far as like, you know, that. And it's like, okay.
Now it's switched gears a little bit. And now
you got bitches talking about they pussy pink and they booty hole brown. Like that's like one of the lyrics. Like it's shit crazy. It's like
and that's what people listen to now.
That's what they listen to
openly. When I was a kid, like I'll throw back to when I had my little radio on the porch. Like, was it 3 6 Mafia? Flop on my knob, like corn on the cob. Like, look, I listened to that very quiet, so my parents wouldn't hear it.
And I get it because that's crazy. I even like getting this and I was like, whoa, we was listening to some crazy shit.
Exactly. But, you know, the judgmental factor too is like if I had it like I'm out there outside the house on the porch or whatever or by the sidewalk, I'm sitting here thinking about the people walking by. If they're listening to this, are they judging me too?
Yeah, they definitely judge you. Yeah. They definitely judging you. Yeah, that whew, you made me remember like that whole album. That whole album was crazy.
Dude, and you had some of the really cool rappers come out. Like one of my favorite rappers is Ludacris. You know, his stuff is chill, it's fun. His videos are fun.
You know who? Let me tell you, it's funny you bring up Ludacris, the baby. He reminds me of them, like Ludacris, Missy Elliott. They had that fun factor to their videos. Busta Rhymes, like it was always a comedic relief.
Yes,
but it was good music. You know?
Exactly.
But like that's what they remind me when you said Ludacris.
Yeah, like Nelly was another one. Yeah, like that song "Ride with Me." Man, I watched that video all the fucking time. That was one of the best.
BET on repeat. Boy.
And that's the other thing too. Like when you're waiting for music videos, like kids now, you guys have everything on demand. You got YouTube. If you wanted to watch the video, you got Spotify. You got Pandora. I use Pandora. So I have my playlist set up. But waiting for your song to either come on the radio or come on the TV.
Torture.
Like Rough Riders Anthem. That was one of the best videos. I love watching that shit.
Man.
And me wanting to stop, drop, shut them down, set up shop.
Yes.
Man.
God almighty, boy. I remember that, boy.
But it was like the best 3 minutes of your day when your video
The
came
best
up.
3 minutes. And it seemed like it lasted for so much longer than 3 minutes.
Yep.
You know?
You get hyped. The dopamine back then was different than now. Like, you're waiting for like an hour before something good comes on. And that's the other thing, too. It's like, if I'm, maybe it's the marketing. Okay. I was just thinking, like, if I'm a platform like MTV, BET, wouldn't I want to play the best videos, most popular? But now I'm thinking about it. They want you to keep watching.
They want you to keep watching.
Yeah, that's why they played the other videos that weren't as popular in between.
Because now they might have broken an artist.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah. Oh yeah, they want you to come back. That's almost like really, you really shoot yourself in the foot when you do that. When you just give nothing but just, I'm gonna equate it to like this. Anybody that ever has smoked weed, like every so often, like you're gonna be able to kind of taste the difference and experience something, you know, different. Like, okay, that's that type of weed. That's that type of weed. But when you just getting premium all the time, after a while, you can be like, man, all this shit tastes the same. You know, it's just like the videos. Like, if you just got nothing but straight gas of videos all the time, you be like,
you don't appreciate it as much.
You don't appreciate it as much. You be like, I'll skip the next 4 or 5 days of watching, and
just to get that dopamine level,
to get that dopamine back. So it's almost like we just the way that we process the information now. Like, they got it on speed dial. Like, if they want to watch or listen to a song, they can do that shit. They can literally, hey Siri, play this song, and it plays, and they don't really have to do shit. So
that's crazy. You don't even have to hit a button or go into your phone now.
Your music library.
Look at that.
Oh shit! Are you serious?
Yes. So, I mean, that's, you know,
it's that easy.
It's that
Dude,
easy.
you weren't even trying, and Siri was trying to jump up there and play some music for you.
Play some music for me.
Okay, so if Siri had some music lined up, what would it be right now? What would be the first song she played for you?
Well, I'd be all over the place. Right now, because I've been listening to a lot of it, is that Kendrick Lamar. I've been listening to a lot of Lil Baby. And then it goes to like a whole bunch of like old school shit, like Juvenile, 400 Degrees.
Yep.
Shit. Old school Nas. It's just like a mixture of all of that. You know, like I listen to like a little bit of like new stuff, but not much.
Yeah.
Like I said, they ain't talking about shit. Like when they like I said, when they start talking about the booty holes, and like, I ain't trying to hear no girl talk about what her booty hole look like. Like, what's attractive about that? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Look, I get it. You know, you want your girl to be a little freaky. You know, I get it. But when that's compromised by her talking about her vagina every 5 minutes, how many other dudes have you been talking to your vagina about? Like, that's what I'm thinking.
the whole world.
The whole world,
Yeah.
You know? And like, talking to you about your vagina, how many guys have, you know, talked you into your, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I don't want to.
How many people had a face-to-face?
Yeah, I ain't trying to. Nah, I'm cool. That shit is unattractive as a motherfucker. It's like rap. You remember Eve?
Yes, I do remember Eve.
Bars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, she may have dressed seductive every now and then,
Marketing.
but
It's marketing.
was marketing.
Yeah.
She wasn't talking about her vagina.
You didn't have to.
You didn't have to. Like, and she had bars. The Gwen Stefani song she came out with.
That's another one, Gwen Stefani.
She looks like she ain't aged a bit still to this day.
Mhm.
Like, it's crazy how, like, it's crazy. But like, it's you don't have to like men go listen to you if you got something to say. You don't have to keep talking. That's just what the crazy thing about it is, that we went, like, the female rap culture went from that to what we got now.
Yeah.
Like, it's shit mad crazy.
Doesn't do the artist justice if they can't drop bars.
Mm-mm.
Like, what are you really doing?
Not at all. What's the other one that then fell off? The one Only thing she do is shake her ass. I can't never remember her name. And that's the all thing she was doing, shaking her ass 24/7. Which, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we
cool.
got that out of our system with Juvenile. Back that ass
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
yeah. Like it's only so much ass shaking you can do.
Yep. And you know what? They ran it. Anybody else is just copying them at this point.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Them and Uncle Luke. After Uncle Luke, we should have been tired of Juvenile. When Juvenile came, we should have been tired of ass shaking then. Cause Uncle Luke and what the 2 Live Crew, them motherfuckers.
Man, like I could listen to the song and like just see it in my head.
Exactly. You can put on any Uncle Luke song, close your eyes, and you there. Like,
you know what? They're about the bass with the ass shaking, but the beats too.
Yes.
I mean, I had an art teacher back in high school. I'm not going to say his name and put him out there, but really the coolest teacher. Like he had this setup in his classroom where he had big ass speakers. I mean, they were like towering big speakers.
Oh, like home.
Like yeah, like an actual like stereo.
Those old.
I mean, he had some like big old speakers. I mean, the sub on it was about this big across.
Oh yeah.
And he had 2 sets across the classroom, and he listened to 2 Live Crew and a lot of the other old school artists at that time. And man, the walls were shaking from the bass. I remember getting up, using the restroom every once in a while, and just walking down. I can hear it. Walking back up, I can hear it from the hallway. I don't know how he got away with that in the school, but he had been a football coach, a very well established teacher in the school, so I think they gave him a little bit more slack. But his class was the best. Some of the music, I can't believe that we played that with students in the classroom because it's very suggestive. But
oh yeah,
man, that was like the best class I ever had in high school.
I had, who was that was like that? God, Mr. Sheriff. It was my math teacher. He was cool like that. He was hella cool, and like not only would he wouldn't say like he would say he's all right now. Music can't be too rough. He was like, I'll listen to some stuff, but he's like when it get a little out of control, we have to cut that off. We understood. We got it.
You ever cut it off though?
Nah, we never, because we never. It was respect.
Yeah,
it was like, if you're gonna give us that much leeway, why would we abuse it?
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you already could probably get in trouble just for letting us listen to it in here. So for you to even be that cool, we ain't gonna push it that far. But like it will always be those times like after he hear the music, he'll give his little 2 cents. But it always came from a place like, yeah, he really didn't understand it. And the questions he would ask wasn't like of judgment. It was like he just didn't fucking understand, So it wasn't, it was always a 2-way street. He always had questions. He was like, so why? And like sometimes he would ask, like, why would you listen to this? And I'm like, hey, it's part of the struggle.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is.
And I'll be honest with you, especially with some of the newer stuff. If I don't necessarily like the lyrics, if the beat's good, that's what I care about.
Yes. Because it's not about the artist like that anymore. It's about the producer. Like, and this is a prime example.
I know where you're going with this.
The whole thing with Metro Boomin. Like the whole thing with that is like this man got mad at a producer, not at the artist for what he said, but got mad at the producer because, he produced the beat for his rival. Producer ain't got nothing to do with your rap beef.
That's a business.
That's a business.
Yeah.
So when you're gonna come at a producer, like I'm gonna put it like this. It's just certain people, like once you understand their caliber, like, okay, I'm gonna think twice about fucking with them.
Yeah.
Metro Boomin is like, he literally, when you get to a point to where a studio like Marvel is saying like, hey, we want you to produce all the beats for this Spider-Man movie.
Why not?
Why not? And why would you fuck with somebody like that?
Yeah.
Obviously, they got enough talent to be like, okay, I can do whatever. So I feel like when Drake pushed that button, what did you expect the producer to do? Go on wax and make a diss song? No, he not a rapper.
Yeah.
He made BBL Drizzy. That was genius.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, remember, you told me, hey, Metro, shut the fuck up and hit them keys. I'm gonna hit them keys then. You know, I'm gonna do exactly what you told me.
Yeah.
And now
At the
you
end of the day,
mad.
he's trying to get paid. Do a
I'm trying
job.
to get paid. So yeah, I definitely, yeah. It ain't. You don't have to listen to the lyrics. Nobody is listen to the lyrics like that anymore.
Mhm.
The only reason we know about BBL Drizzy, that was the song. Metro literally made a hook, put it on the beat with no lyrics, no words other than the hook, and that's what everybody. Like he didn't have nobody, and it's a hit.
Yeah. And I'd say at least half of the work is on the producer.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, you can have the best lyrics, but if you don't have a good beat,
Oh yeah. You ain't
that's
going
half the
nowhere.
battle.
Oh yeah. You ain't going nowhere.
All right, Raphael, I got one final question for you.
What you got?
You had to pick best rapper, in your opinion.
Boy, you gonna hit me with that? Best rapper. Is it body of work or the impact on the culture?
Since we're talking about the culture,
The
and
impact on the
fashion, let's
culture.
go with that.
I would have to say DMX. I would have to say DMX. And I say this because the places that he get respect from and how he's always had as far as his music, he's been consistent. Him, 50, and Biggie are the only ones that I've seen get the type of welcome in Jamaica, like the drug lord just came out of prison. Like when they go there and they perform, like the drug dealers come out and like it's like who like and it's
They're
people
grounded with the community.
Yes, but they can come to one place because one man is performing and they cool.
Yeah.
Like who can do that? Them the only people I've seen do that. And the whole thing with Biggie when he did that, this motherfucker got shot up and came out in the wheelchair and still performed.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just I don't know when I think about like impact on the culture and DMX,
Yeah.
that motherfucker was probably the truest thing to um a earth down to earth person, but still had the fame.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we'll never see anything like that no more.
Yeah, I hate that he's gone already.
Yeah, man. X was the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like you can listen to his music now. Listen to "It's Dark and Hell Is Out" now from start to finish. Pfft. He talking about shit and was going through shit that motherfuckers going through and dealing with now. Like it's crazy. Like yeah, X all the way.
Nice.
What about you?
You know, I don't have as thorough of an explanation as you do.
I'm sorry.
But I'd have to say Wayne. You know, the way he spits verses. I mean, even Drake said it too, that, some of his songs, it's like he's just talking.
He just talking.
He's just talking.
And I can get that. I get that. Because like that's why I asked the question, impact of body of work. Because when you look at body of work, ain't nobody fucking touching Wayne.
Yeah.
I remember one time I got fucking tired of listening to Wayne. I took a 6-month hiatus from listening to anything Wayne because I just got tired of listening to him.
Yeah.
It was one summer he came out, like I was telling you before, these mixtapes called the Squad Up mixtapes.
Mm.
He dropped like 4 or 5 of them in one summer.
Man's working.
I got tired of listening to that motherfucker. I was like, and the crazy thing about it is, all the music that I missed when I was taking a break from him, when I start back listening to it, I was like, damn, I ain't know Wayne put out some new shit. And everybody looking at me like, man, this shit like months old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that was me, not only experiencing what I missed, but now I'm hungry again. It's like, oh, I want to listen to some more.
Yeah.
But he got so much new shit out that I ain't listened to that, So I feel you on the Wayne.
Yeah,
I definitely feel you on the Wayne.
And I got one experience. It was back in Miami. I think it was Bayfront Park or Bicentennial, one of them. They had a concert downtown right there on the bay.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends and I, we heard about it. And we parked somewhere far away thinking, okay, maybe we can see it from the fence or whatever. And we actually walked through the fence. The backstage area was open. It wasn't protected. There was police all over the place. But there wasn't a lock and key or anybody watching it. So we walked through the fence and we walked up the little mound up there where the police were standing. They looked at us, and we're not hostile or nothing like that. Getting to the end of the concert, and it had to be something Cash Money because you had Birdman, you had Wayne, you had a few other people there.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to like the last song they were playing, and we're watching from backstage, which was really cool.
Damn.
All those other people paid to get in, and we're watching for free.
In the best spots in the house.
That's right. And then on the way out, when everything shut down, we walked through the same gate we came through.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the streets, you had all the rappers going to their cars, which is kind of where we walked through.
Oh, shit.
And we actually got to take a picture of Birdman. Didn't get to see Wayne, but we saw Birdman, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Damn.
Plus, I have some fond memories with some of my friends riding through the neighborhood in South Beach, listening to some Wayne on Ocean Drive, Washington Avenue. My friend had 212s in the back of his 84 Cutlass Supreme. Cops would always pull us over. But you know what? That was fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the thing with me with X, because like I used to be with my uncle all the damn time, and you know he was a whole 20 years. Well, at the time was at least 12 years older than me,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was with him and he picked me up from school. He took me to school most of the time, and it's just the music that he listened to. Like he listened to a Tribe Called Quest, The Roots. Like he listened to all of that. Yeah,
Cool.
He listened to all that, but that X, when I remember when he picked me up from school, and that first 2 tracks off of that, I was like, oh my God, what do you listen to? I want to listen to it, but I only heard them first 2 tracks. He's like, man, gone. He's like, I gotta go to work. Bye. He dropped me off. I'm like, damn, what is he listening to? Now I gotta wait till he get off work to even, you know. So yeah, I feel you on that. It just bring back memories, bro.
That's right. Well, Rafael, looks like we're about out of time here.
Yes.
But appreciate having this conversation
Hell
with you.
yeah,
Very
man.
insightful.
Hell yeah, man.
Fun,
I enjoyed
too.
this shit was hella fun. Hell yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, until next time,
Till next time.
we'll see you later.